was heavy, but chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan. Now you call me citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing. Now your love is here that I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open. 'Cause when you call my name, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day.
Good morning, Rooted Men. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Church on a Thursday morning. It looks like we've got some rain today. Hope that your morning is going well so far. Before I go any further, I just want to make sure that my sound and video is working because I had issues yesterday. It appears again to be working, but just somebody give me a thumbs up and we'll get moving along. How are we doing, guys? Sound and video are great, says Glenn. Chuck. All right, good. All right, very good. So let's say hi to a few people. I'm out there on X. So is my cousin, Dave Donnelly. Steve Giroux, good morning. Chuck B, shalom, gentlemen. Ken Gooch, good morning, fellow brothers in arms. Brian Vlaming, good morning. Chris Connolly, good morning. Glenn is also saying good morning, Rooted Men. And we'll see if some, there's a few people popping on. We'll say hi to them at the end. All right, we're getting near the end of the book of Joshua. So they basically have done, I don't know, let's call it 80% of the work they needed to do to get into that land. There's still more work pushing out the Philistines and some other Eans out of there, Canaanites and other ites. But what we have now is that the 2.5 tribes, it's time for them to go back home to the other side of the Jordan. And as I said, we're getting to the end of this reign and Joshua's life. And so let me pull up the reading, and I've highlighted some sections that I want to make sure that we touch base on. So hopefully you can see the reading. The eastern tribes return home. At that time, Joshua summoned the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh, the 2.5. Remember, they were told that they had to cross over. They had to go before the Israelites. They had to fight with the Israelites. They had to help the Israelites get all the land, and then they would be able to go back home. And said to them, good news, you have kept all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you and have obeyed my voice in all that I have commanded you. Man, those are good words. You've not forsaken your brothers these many days down to this day, but have been careful to keep the charge of the Lord your God. And now the Lord your God has given rest to your brothers as he promised them. Therefore, turn and go to your tents in the land where your possession lies. It's time to go home. I just can't imagine this moment, right? This moment when these soldiers are allowed to go back home and to be with their family and their children and begin to put their life in order and live in the land that God promised them. All right, therefore turn and go to your tents in the land where your possessions lies, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you on the other side of the Jordan. Only Be very careful to observe the commandment of the Lord, of the law that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, to love the Lord your God and to walk in all of his ways and to keep his commandments and to cling to him and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. Sounds a little bit like the Shema, right? Only be careful. I wonder if that's not a word for us here on a Thursday as we traverse through a pretty weird world and a very weird America. Only be careful to observe the commandment. Be careful. Make sure that you've firmly rooted yourself in God's unconditional love and his eternal truth, that you've put on the full armor of God. So it's time to go back out into that crazy world and not get sucked into it, but be light in contrast to its darkness, to be obedient, to not sacrifice your principles, become someone that you're not just because of the crowd that you're in or the people that you're around. Because you see, you love God. Love the Lord your God. Why break that love? Don't break that love. Walk in his ways. Keep his commandments. Cling to him and serve him. Abide with me and I'll abide with you. These are words in the Old Testament that ring true even in the New Testament and should ring true to our lives today. Serve him. We're stewards of our lives. We're stewards of everything that we have. Let's serve him with all of our hearts and all of our souls. So Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their tents. Now to the one half of the tribe of Manasseh, Moses had given a possession of Bashan, but to the other half, and he goes on to describe what they had. And he says to them, go back to your tents with much wealth and with very much livestock, with silver, gold, bronze, and iron, and with much clothing. Remember, these people came out of the desert. They had nothing except what they used from the Egyptians and when they built the tabernacle for God. But now they have tremendous amounts of wealth because God gave them a land that was already fruitful, right? Flowing with milk and honey. Remember, divide the spoils of your enemies with your brothers, those who stayed back to protect the families. So the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh returned home, parting from the people of Israel at Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilead, their own land, of which they had possessed themselves by command of the Lord. And when they came to the region of the Jordan, that is the land of Canaan, the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh built an altar by the Jordan, an altar of imposing size. And the people of Israel heard it. Behold, the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the people of the half tribe of Manasseh have built the altar at the frontier of the land of Canaan in the region about the Jordan on the other side that belongs to the people of Israel. And when the people of Israel heard of it, the whole assembly of the people of Israel gathered at Shiloh to make war with them. Yikes. The first thing they do is cross over the Jordan and build an altar. And immediately, the righteousness of the other tribes are reading into all of that they're already breaking away with God and they're beginning to create their own worship and have their own altar that might be different than theirs. And because they serve a holy God, they're ready now to go to the 2.5 tribes and treat them like enemies and destroy them. What's going to happen next? Well, Matt Ryan has that tomorrow. But I simply want to just talk about the fact that when the Jewish people were on their A game, serving God properly, living a life of faith, seeing things the way they should, understanding that we have a relationship with this holy God, not just a religion. Man, they fought and scratched to do it right. They dug in, defended their faith. Didn't matter who would oppose them. Fellow Christians, people out in the world, doesn't matter. And I just wonder, in my lifetime, the Christian church just seems to cave into everything. We're afraid to stand up for anything. And hence, I think sometimes the people out there in the world say, well, what is the difference between you and us? I mean, I don't see a difference. Let's be different today. Let's be defining today. Let's be certain today. Let's be very clear today as we set our direction, that the way that we speak, the way that we act, and the way that we steward our life today is graciously under the direction of a holy God who loves us, redeemed us, saved us, and has set us free. We serve him. Let's do that today. All right, I'll leave it at that. Who else came on board at the end? Bert Reggiani, good morning. All right, there's quite a few others. Let me get over here. Blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.